Hello and welcome to News Central TV. I'm Darshan Usman. The top stories this hour. PDP Reconciliation Committee Chairman Bukola Saraki warns that there's likely to be more defections from the party. Suspended Governor of Rivers State Siminalayi Fubara and his erstwhile estranged godfather Nyesom Wike make first public appearance together after peace deal. Away from Nigeria, Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda signed peace accord in the U.S. after many years of tensions. Details shortly. We begin with politics, where Governors Forum of the All Progressives Congress has unanimously welcomed the resignation of the national chairman of the party, Abdullahi Ganduje. Now, the governors adopted the resolution during their two-day strategic regional meeting in Benin City on Saturday, hosted by the governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo. A statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary to Governor Monday Okpebholo of Edo State, Fred Itwa, on Saturday, said the PGF reaffirmed its strong belief in a united, just and prosperous Nigeria, committing to hard work collaboratively to deliver bold reforms, strengthen institutional trust, and accelerate socio-economic development across all geopolitical zones.
The PGF acknowledged the resignation of the national chairman of our great party, His Excellency Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, in tandem with the party's continued evolution. The PGF reaffirmed its unshakable belief in a united, just, and prosperous Nigeria. It's committed to working collaboratively to deliver bold reforms, strengthen institutional trust, and accelerate socio-economic development across all geopolitical zones. The governors resolved to remain faithful stewards of the APC's values, leveraging state-level innovation, intergovernmental collaboration to drive Nigeria's transformation from bottom up. The forum encouraged all Nigerians, home and abroad, to rally behind President Bola Tinubu GCFR and the APC as the nation moves towards a more secure, inclusive, and forward-looking future.
We're now joined by News Central's lead correspondent, Bernard Akede, who followed the entire event in Benin City. And also joining us from Abuja to get more reactions on this development is Bettina Nweli. Now, thank you so much, Bernard and Bettina. Let's begin with you, Bernard. What would you say were the highlights of this gathering, and what was the message in the communique?
Thank you for having me, Darshan. I'd say the highlight of this whole meeting, first of all, is the fact that we had like 15 governors basically present in Benin City, the Edo State capital, at one point in time. Like one of our desk editors, Sukomi, would say, where you have more than 2 governors in a state at the same time, is it that good news or bad news? But whatever it is news. And truly, this was news. Having 15 governors is the first time that the executive governor of the state, His Excellency Monday Okpebholo, would host these kind of large number of governors here. So I think the people of Benin largely seeing the influx of more dignitaries than they've seen in a while. I would call that, I think, the highlight of this whole two-day event. And then the speech given by Senator Hope Uzodinma, who is chairing this forum and who, of course, is the governor of Imo State. I'd say also kind of highlighted the entire activity, touching on major points that the party is looking towards, but most importantly and particularly talking about revitalizing the party and ensuring that the APC remains the #1 strong force in terms of politics in Nigeria. And then finally, they were largely hammered on the president's renewed hope agenda, touching on different, I would like to say, strategic points and ensuring that the renewed hope agenda is the message that the APC governors are pushing out today.
Well, Bernard, was there any emphasis, on the resignation of Abdullahi Ganduje, the former party's national chairman?
Well, unfortunately, Dashan, I would like to believe that most journalists who attended this particular event were hoping that something would be said about Alhaji Abdullahi Ganduje's resignation from the party or as the party chairman. Unfortunately, that short sentence that was read out by Governor Hope Uzodinma is all that he said concerning the resignation of the party chairman. There was nothing more elaborate than that. There was no expansion of the statement. All he said was that the party accepts or has accepted the resignation of the now ex-party chairman in tandem with the party's evolution and growth. Very vague, if you ask me. What that means, we can't exactly say. But I think it basically is saying that the party has accepted it and that they are moving on.
All right, so now let's reach out to Bettina, who is also going to speak on this. Bettina, please go ahead and share with us, the news of Ganduje's resignation and how it was received, especially in the FCT.
All right, thank you so much for having me, Dashan. I'm here currently in front of the APC Secretariat in Abuja, and I can tell you that speaking to some of the people here behind the camera, because they refuse to speak on screen for obvious reasons, they have said that they are happy about the development. Now, there has been some controversy over what the reason why Ganduje resigned might be, and even though we do not have concrete information yet, now some sources are saying that it's because the APC are looking forward to have Rabiu Kwankwaso join the party, and we know that there has been some sort of feud that hasn't been settled between Abdullahi Ganduje and the Rabiu Kwankwaso. While we cannot corroborate and say for sure that is the reason, but rumors and sources have put that forward to us. But we can also establish that party members in the APC Secretariat here are actually happy about the developments. They haven't told us why they are happy, but we can see from their interactions and what they have said and their body language that they are indeed happy about the new development. What will come afterwards is something that we are still on the outlook for, to see what exactly is going on within the APC.
Okay, so I would also like Bernard to respond to this question, but let me ask you first, Bettina. Would you say that this was a subtle campaign in preparation for the 2027 elections? Because you did talk about Kwankwaso, talks about Kwankwaso joining the party.
A subtle campaign that is not so subtle, leading up until 2027. People are a bit surprised that, okay, 2 years from the next campaign season and we are already doing it now. But yes, I do think it is related. How it is related, we are still yet to figure out, but I will definitely say that both have hands in the pot.
All right, so let's hear from Bernard as well. Bernard, what do you think? Do you think this is also a campaign for 2027 elections?
I think I would call it a campaign. Using the word subtle, maybe not. I don't know if there's any such thing as subtle campaign. A campaign is a campaign. Having 15 governors out of 23 assembling a state, even though they're just here for for a forum. At the end of the program, there was a gathering. Like hosting. The governor hosted the 15 governors. Even though not all of them were around, only one stayed for this particular gathering. But everybody who spoke at this gathering talked about the renewed hope agenda. Talked about the president doing great stuff and hoping that he will knowing that he will do better when he gets elected in 2027. Also talking about the strength of the party. If you ask me, I would say yes, this did look like a campaign. And when you ask people, is it too early to begin to campaign for 2027? Well, what you hear that we are midway through 2025 already, and the entirety of 2026 will most likely be campaign year.
All right, now just before I let you go, Bettina, I know you did say that, or Bernard rather did say that there was no reason yet for why Ganduje resigned, but do you have an idea what is next for him, now that he's no longer party chairman?
like I said earlier, Dashan, there's a lot of build-up going towards the 2027 election, so I cannot say categorically what he has planned going forward. But I do know that there are rumors about a VP seat being empty, because some sources have said that they do not think that President Bola Tinubu is ready to go into 2027 hand in hand with Shatima. But we still stay on guard to watch and monitor what the situation is like. But for now, there are two names that are ringing, within political circles for this vice presidential post come 2027, and the two names have Ganduje's name in the mix. So we will wait to watch and see how the rest of the, happenings unfold.
All right, well, thank you so much, Bernard and Bettina. Away from that, and in the meantime, Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP Reconciliation Committee, and former Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki has warned that more defections from the party may still occur even as efforts continue to reposition the party ahead of the 2027 general elections. Saraki made this known during a televised interview in Abuja. He, however, described the timing of the crisis as an advantage, arguing that it gives the PDP time to recover and rebuild before the election cycle begins in full swing. Despite the turbulence at the national level, Saraki said the PDP remains strong at the grassroots and across state structures. The Forum for State Chairman of the Social Democratic Party has thrown their weight behind the suspension of the national chairman of the party, Shehu Gabam, and two other national officers. Now, the Forum, while speaking to newsmen in Abuja, urged members of the party not to worry about the decision, saying that Gabam has questions to answer, especially relating to approved funds expected to be released to the state chapters of the party.
The members must remain calm at this period and not to be swayed by media manipulations regarding the suspended chairman and other two. The entire process has followed the party constitution being provided. It is important to know that all action taken have been initiated by the state chapter. Our situation can be summarized by the phrase, monkey they walk, baboon they chop. This forum has repeatedly requested that the national chairman remit the state allocated percentage as outlined in the constitution, but he has consistently ignored this request. No state chapter, as we speak, has received any fund from the money raised, and whenever we inquire about our dues, we encounter threats of removal or suspension.
Barely 2 days after a fresh round of peace talks at the presidential villa in Abuja, suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory Nyesom Wike, and the suspended Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Honorable Martins Ameule, again appeared in public together. Now, the fresh appearance was this time at a funeral service in Rumukbekom, Wike's hometown in Obiakpo local government area. The three key political figures have been locked in a political crisis for nearly 2 years. The appearance follows Thursday's peace meeting brokered by President Bola Tinubu, which sought to end the lingering crisis between the governor and his former political allies. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll tell you how prominent businessman and elder statesman Aminu Ntata dies at 94. We'll bring you details of this and more in a moment. Join us again. Thank you for staying with us. To security matters, a daring petroleum tanker hijacking syndicate has been dismantled with 7 suspects arrested by the Lagos State Police in Ejigbo early Saturday morning, June 28th. Our News Central's Igbalani Omoni has the details.
In the early hours of Saturday, the Lagos State Police Command apprehended 7 individuals suspected of hijacking a petroleum tanker. The breakthrough came soon after the truck driver reported the crime at the Surulere police station.
As he collect the way before the driver have to come down to go and claim the way be from them. The next thing where I go here, because we are inside motor, will be 2 motor boy. And the second motor boy, me I don't date that motor, 30. But that motor boy, na new boy. Na first trip where go follow us be that. The Navy can say, okay, all 2 people were there inside motor, may they come down. The next thing they carry slab give us, drag us inside the car. Small car like this, they drag us inside.
After they hijacked the vehicle, they brought it here, dropped the contents here, then took the tanker to Orile, dropped it off. Then in the early hours of this morning, they came with their own tanker to lift the PMS that they earlier dropped here. So we caught them right in the act. We've arrested 7 suspects. Investigation is progressing.
The stolen product, approximately 45,000 liters, was traced to the tank on site. Within 12 hours of the complaint, the suspects were cornered at the abandoned station in possession of pumping machinery and firearms, suggesting organized operations.
Our preliminary investigation so far shows that this is a filling station that is not in use. So we are continuing with our investigation. Do not forget that this happened just this morning. As investigation progresses, we will update Lagosians accordingly. So we also want to establish if the owner of the filling station is in on this, if he actually gave it out for such criminal activities. So when we discover that, we will let you know. For now, it appears to be an abandoned station that is being used in the middle of the night before daybreak by criminal elements.
So what happened to the content you have discovered?
Oh, for now, it's an exhibit to aid our investigation, and once investigation is concluded, the rightful owner, of course, would take back his property.
Meanwhile, investigations continue into how the syndicate sourced the underground tank and the full chain of conspirators.
The Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Command, CP Olorundare Jimoh, upon hearing of this case, gave direct instructions that all of the other suspects should be rounded up, and the investigation should be swiftly concluded.
The arrest of the suspect and recovery of the stolen product are expected to bring relief to residents and businesses in the area. In Lagos, 4 News Central, Igbalani Omani.
The Take It Back movement in Lagos has demanded justice for thousands of residents displaced by what they describe as illegal demolitions in Oworonshoki. Now, the group held a press conference at the Odunfa-Okeeri site to highlight the scale of destruction and the suffering experienced by affected families. Residents have accused government officials of carrying out the demolitions with little notice, leaving many homeless and struggling to salvage belongings. The movement is calling for accountability and urgent intervention to address the plight of those rendered destitute by the exercise. Abraka, a university community in Delta State, South Nigeria, recently experienced heightened insecurity that almost crippled academic activities in the institution. In this report, News Central correspondent Austin Azu examines the impact on students and highlights possible solutions to the persistent kidnappings and killings in the university community.
Residents of Abraka community in Delta State, in a peaceful protest to draw the government's attention to the rising insecurity in their area. It was alleged that some personnel of the Nigerian army employed forced to disperse the protesters, leaving some of them with injuries. A day after the protest, the local hunters, in collaboration with the Nigeria Police, Abraka Division, swung into action, killing 4 of the suspected kidnappers who had been terrorizing the community. Some of the hunters and police were said to have sustained various degrees of injuries.
Oh boy, where the magazine? Oh boy. Nice one, nice one. Nice one, nice one.
Some of the hunters and others who exchanged gunfire with the kidnappers recounted their experiences.
it was a miracle. I saw death, but I did not experience death. All these bruises was maneuvering. The same injury I have is what the DPO also sustained. But the DPO was very brave. I wish he exercised any atom of fear. Everybody would have gone down.
The university students and business operators within the community have also been narrating the impact of the insecurity on their activities.
The kidnappers now will capture people, capture students, both male and female, capture them, collect some ransom, then still kill them. And this is also affecting us in our school aspect as well. Because we students, to even go to class now, it's even hard for us. It's just like 50-50.
So insecurity has really affected us going for night classes or reading night classes.
The issue of insecurity has really affected us a lot. You know, as females, walking out in the evenings, coming out in the evenings is almost very unsafe.
So all the students, so they give us money, all of them don't run come up for town. So market no day, everywhere just they do.
Meanwhile, some individuals have highlighted what they considered effective solutions to the security challenges.
But what we are facing goes beyond just human deployment. Logistics is quite important.
We have Orenigbe, then other communities around. If they can come together and comb the bush, we will be able to be safe. Our children will be safe. Our women will go to farm.
Police, I'm not really seeing them as the number that is going to be able to figure it. There are other security people, like when you talk about anti-court, federal hunters, and the rest of them. I think the federal government, we need to do something about them by empowering them. If they can empower them with the materials they need, I think they can assist police to tackle the insecurity.
According to the Commissioner of Police in Delta States, more tactical squads have been deployed to Abraka to restore security in the once peaceful community. In Abraka for News Central, Austin Azu.
In Zamfara State, what was once a routine journey has now become a dangerous gamble where traveling home means risking your life. And in this report, News Central looks into how commuters are routinely stranded on the road to Ensadao, a 109-kilometer stretch now under the control of armed bandits, crippling transport and commerce in the area. Motorists say the journey, which should take just 3 hours, now leaves drivers and passengers stranded for days, forced to sleep in unsafe motor parks while awaiting military escort. News Central's Jamil Mabai reports.
This is where the journey ends tonight. For Mandi and his passengers, the Zamfara Motor Park has become a temporary shelter. Mandi, a father of 18, has driven this route for over 4 decades. He knows the terrain, but these days, even he is afraid.
To, dalilin abin da yasa ban je gida ba saboda hanyar barayi na tare ta. Tun daga ruwan kunku baya za a ka shiga wannan hanyar zuwa dan sado saboda barayi. Kuma sai an samu escort na sojoji sannan ake shiga, su za su muku escort zuwa dan sadau. Amma in babu su babu yadda za a ka shiga dan sadau, baya za a ka tai. Dole kai hankuri sai wannan lokaci na escort na sojoji sun zo sun taimaka mana sun hishe mu.
The road to Dan Sadau is just 109 kilometers, but due to persistent insecurity, a journey that once took hours now stretches into days, and sometimes longer. Dan Sadau is located in Maru local government area of Zamfara state. The roads leading there are infested with bandits. Over time, traveling this route without military escort has become almost suicidal.
Saboda akwai gurare da dama wayanda da ka kai wurin kana cikin tashin hankali. Yanzu barayi suna iya yi maka bul ko a kame ku a yi daji da ku ko a sa bindiga a halbe ku ko mutunan su ta ku su bar su ba ku nan wurin.
Just recently, Suleiman Dansaido and his passengers narrowly escaped an attack while heading to the community.
Ina kaiwa mashayan zaki kawai sai barayin nan suka fito man. Kawai suka fito man. Fito man da suka yi ban tsaya ba. Sai suka bi ni da halbi. Suka bude man wuta. Allah ya kaddarta ba a samu kowa a cikin motata ba. Kuma ni ba a same ni ba. Warawan nan da ya halban sai da muka hada ido da shi. Ya kallan ni kalle ya daga bindiga ya halbo. Ta zo nan tukko majinginar kujera ta binan ta heta ta gilas ɗin gaba da Allah ya kaddarce ya same ni kai na zai wace to Allah bai bashi iko ba na yi gangara ashe akwai wasu gaba su ma suka bude man wuta ta gaba sai dai suka halbe gaban mota kawai ba wanda aka samu kowane je dan sado na tsaya duk kwarorin bullet ɗin ga sunan ƙasan mota waɗanda suka halbe ne da su.
Passengers are now forced to sleep in harsh, unsafe conditions, waiting endlessly for the next available convoy.
Ana tunanin a ce abinci in ci abinci tun da sahi yanzu gashi har kuna wasan karfe 11 na dare ban ci abinci ba sai dai ruwa in na sha ba da tunanin haka nan ka taho daga gida ka zo ka abin nan ka zo ka samu kwanan da ya kai 3 ko 4 baka tashi ba kuma baka da kuɗi baka san kowa ba ka ga wannan akwai tashin hankali mutum tunani ma yana iya in ba ya kawo ba ya sa shi cikin wani ruduwa.
Transport business along this route has collapsed. What used to be a 3-hour trip now turns into a 2 to 3 day ordeal on the road. For people like Osmanu, each delay in reaching their destination is more than just an inconvenience. It's a fight for survival. This is the grim reality in Zamfara, where insecurity has turned everyday travel into a gamble with life. In Zamfara for News Central, I am Jamil Mabai.
To health matters, as Nigeria continues to account for one of the countries with the highest cancer burden globally, the need to address the existing gaps ensure proper disease management and prevention techniques have been placed on the front burner. Cancer survivors, while leading the charge to raise awareness and access to adequate health care, say that their journey from diagnosis to survivorship can help address the fear and stigma surrounding the disease. News Central correspondent Aishat Salihu reports.
Nigeria faces a significant cancer burden with an estimated 127,763 new cancer cases and over 79,542 deaths annually, according to available data. Breast and cervical cancers are particularly prevalent among women, while prostate cancer is most common among men, necessitating tailored interventions. However, there are limited data about survivors, including access to care in view of existing stigma, trauma, and barriers.
The government is not helping matters, but there is this in cancer health fund. Just when they only give 1 million naira, and the 1 million naira is not in cash. They give you 1 million naira in your name. It's just only for blood count, MRI, CT scan. It's not part of the chemo.
First was rejection from my family, that's my husband to be precise, who didn't really understand what I was going through. And also the financial aspect was something else because I wasn't buoyant and I don't have the capacity to fund the treatment at a time.
So the first thing is, if you work for your mind, you have already gotten almost 50% of your healing. I can tell you that. Because believe you me, I saw somebody who had liver cancer terminal case, happy, smiling. Mine was just stage 3.
Inadequate data and research, diagnostic services, infrastructure resources, palliative care, awareness, prevention, including diagnostic services, amongst others, have been identified as major gaps to effective cancer management, which experts say must be bridged in order to attain better health outcomes.
we equally can't speak enough about, early presentation. One of the reasons why cancer is deemed, a death sentence is because most of the patients who come to us present late. We still have up to 70% of our patients presenting in stage 3 and 4.
For you, the patients, if you are not comfortable with what the doctor has said, feel free to ask questions. I tell people, if you're a very confident physician, you will not be ashamed to tell the patient, go and seek second opinion. I always did that. If you're not happy, go, and more than 100 of my patients will go and then come back.
We give hope, even when we are down, we tell ourselves that we just have to keep on moving no matter what. Many believe projecting the experiences and resilience of survivors is a key aspect in cancer care and management. Experts say that it will be a game changer in the battle against cancer in Nigeria, ensuring a reduction in incidence in the coming years. In Abuja, for News Central, Aishat Salihu.
Climate experts across Africa are raising the alarm over the slow pace of action in transitioning away from traditional biomass fuels, including firewood and charcoal, among others. Now, this formed part of concerns by speakers at University of Maiduguri that delays in adopting cleaner alternatives are contributing to worsening deforestation, health risks, and climate vulnerability. News Central's Umar Kirawa completes the report.
In Baga town of Borno State, recovering from years of insurgency, farmers embark on clearance of their farms. For Muhammad Bukar and some of the farmers in Borno State, delayed rainfall is their major problem now.
Awa kusi lansha botin ma gwamnati zaman ne masu tangarzana ma'ari da ya kwakwarizu bare odo ya biladiya ya ro sanjiro kala ita furumzu asuza audo shi ma da awo ga dagi audo zauro bana rintaro no za da ya sandiya bana za sanjiro sada.
Experts here urged governments across sub-Saharan Africa to prioritize investment in alternative energy infrastructure and accelerate policy reforms to facilitate a transition away from wood fuel dependence.
His Excellency has made an order, executive order, on stopping indiscriminate felling of tree and sanitation. So it's also in line to mitigate waste pollution as well as acting on impact and effect of climate change in Borno State. And not only Borno State, because anything you do in Borno State will also impact the national, Africa, and world at large.
Most households are suffering from poverty. What you need to do is to try to alleviate poverty by what? Providing alternative cooking energy. Cooking food is the most expensive now. It's even more expensive than the food itself in some cases. So we try to provide, look, Chad here, I've been to Chad a couple of years ago, and I saw what happened. Every low-income household has a cooking gas provided by government, and they provide this cooking gas at a very subsidized rate. And then utilizing that, already the enabling environment has been created.
They warn that without immediate action, the region risks further environmental degradation, water stress, and food insecurity.
How much is a bag of charcoal? How much is a bunch of fuel wood to use it to cook? It's really difficult. So government needs to set the ball rolling, and then the other stakeholders can come in and then create more awareness.
Empowering youth, enforcing policies, and uniting stakeholders for sustainable solutions has also been emphasized to ensure environmental protection. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umar Kirawa.
On a sad note, prominent Kano businessman and philanthropist Aminu Ntata is dead. He died at the age of 94. His death was confirmed on Saturday by his principal private secretary, Mustafa Abdullahi Junaid. He was also the brother of Aliko Dangote's grandfather. Born on May 19, 1931, Ntata was a scion of the influential Ntata family and son of Al-Hassan Ntata, one of West Africa's wealthiest merchants in the early 20th century. Coming up, DR Congo, Rwanda signed peace accord in U.S. after years of tension. We'll tell you more after the break. Stay with us. Away from Nigeria, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda have signed a treaty to strengthen their fragile relationship long strained by years of tensions and conflict. Now, the United States and Qatar brokered deal was signed in Washington by Therese Wagner, Congolese Foreign Minister, and Olivier Nduhungirehe, her Rwandan counterpart. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio presided over the signing of the peace agreement. Wagner noted that the peace agreement must be followed by disengagement, justice, and return of displaced families. Part of the agreement includes the implementation of a 2024 deal that would see Rwandan troops withdraw from eastern Congo within 90 days. The agreement also provides for Kinshasa and Kigali to launch a regional economic integration framework within 90 days. Meanwhile, the African Union has described the peace deal signed between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda as a milestone or a significant milestone in bringing peace to the deeply troubled region. AU Commission head Mohammed Ali Yusuf, who witnessed the signing of the deal in Washington, welcomed this significant milestone and commended all efforts aimed at advancing peace, stability, and reconciliation in the region. Similarly, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres welcomed the signing of the U.S. brokered peace deal, acknowledging the contributions of the 5 co-facilitators designated by the East African Community and the Southern African Development Community. The deal does not explicitly address the gains of the M23 in the area turned by decades of on and off war, but calls for Rwanda to end defensive measures it has taken. In other news from around the world, the U.S. Senate has rejected a Democratic-led bid to block President Donald Trump from using further military force against Iran. The Senate vote was 53 to 47 against a war powers resolution that would have required congressional approval for more hostilities against Iran. The vote was along party lines, except Pennsylvania Democrat John Fetterman voted no, with Republicans, and Kentucky Republican Rand Paul voted yes with Democrats. Now, earlier on Friday, Trump sharply criticized Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, dropped plans to lift sanctions on Iran, and said he would consider bombing Iran again if Tehran is enriching uranium to worrisome levels. He was reacting to Khamenei's first remarks after a 12-day conflict with Israel that ended when the United States launched bombing raids against Iranian nuclear sites. Thousands of anti-government protesters rallied in Bangkok on Saturday, demanding Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatра's resignation over a leaked diplomatic phone call. A Cambodian elder statesman leaked a call meant to calm a border row between Thailand and Cambodia, in which Paetongtarn called him uncle and referred to a Thai military commander as her opponent. A key party abandoned Paetongtarn's coalition, accusing the 38-year-old dynasty premier of kowtowing to Cambodia and undermining Thailand's military. Around 4,000 demonstrators filled roads, ringing the capital's Victory Monument, waving Thai flags and cheering for speeches interspersed with live music.
จริงก็คือมาจากความไม่ถูกต้องสิ่งที่ไม่ถูกต้องก็คือถ้าเขาทำสิ่งถูกต้องผู้นำทำช่วยเหลือประเทศชาติทำให้ประเทศชาติได้เดินต่อเราก็อยากช่วยให้ประเทศชาติเดินต่อถ้ามันไม่ไหวแล้วก็ต้องให้หยุดอย่างอะไรที่นายก
ถูกต้องครับมีคลิปเสียงหลุดซึ่งปัจจัยอดีตนี่ผม พรรคเพื่อไทยพอคลิปเสียงหลุดปุ๊บผมหน้ามือเป็นหลังมือเลยผมไม่รับเลยถือว่าอันนี้คือประเทศไทยไม่ได้ประเทศเขมรเรารับไม่ได้ตรงนั้นฮะไม่ยอมรับเลยนะ
ฉะนั้นแล้วเนี่ยเมื่อปัญหามันเกิดขึ้นมาแล้วเราคนไทยไม่ออกช่วยกันมันไม่ได้เพราะว่าผืนแผ่นดินเนี่ยบรรพบุรุษเรารักษาไม่ให้ลูกหลานเราแล้วมันเป็นเรื่องของคนตระกูลแค่2 ตระกูลนะรู้นะมาทำลายเนี่ยดังนั้นคนไทย
In business, between January and April 2025, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, on behalf of the Nigerian government, supplied more than 9.2 million barrels of crude oil to the Dangote Petroleum Refinery. This transaction, valued at 219.38 billion naira, was conducted under the evolving naira for crude arrangement, with exchange rates fluctuating between 1,501 naira and 1,563 naira per dollar. Oil and gas analyst Bola Olojede discussed these developments on Business Edge.
They've been able to provide some level of crude to Dangote, but the reality is that the level of crude being provided right now is still very low to the requirements to run a refinery the size of Dangote refinery. We're talking of a refinery with 650,000 barrels per day capacity. When you look at some of the provisions that the government has made in this year, so you might see some months in which the government made maybe 1 million barrels. Let's even say it becomes double and it is 2 million barrels. If Dangote is operating at full capacity and can consume a feed stock of 650,000 barrels per day, if you give him 1 million barrels, you've only given him maybe 1.5 day stock. If you give him 2 million, maybe you're lucky if you can get maybe 3 days feed stock out of the 3 million that you have given him in a month. So it looks big when you look at the numbers. Naira, 219 billion over 4 months. But when you translate it to dollars, to barrels, and you place it side by side with the capacity of the refinery to consume 650,000 barrels a day at full capacity, then it is a trickle. It doesn't cut it at all. Now, the way, in my opinion, is to actually, push the lever on those things that will help us to improve our production level.
In the world of sports, Rivers Angels secured their 10th Federation Cup title after a dramatic 4-2 penalty shootout victory over Nasarawa Amazons in Lagos. Now the final ended 2-2 in regulation time. Shobowale Odushola gave Nasarawa an early lead in the 10th minute and doubled the advantage in the 20th. Rivers Angels responded in the second half with Taiwo Ajibade pulling one back in the 50th minute before Taiwo Afolabi's stunning 25-yard volley leveled the score. With no goals in full time, Rivers Angels converted 4 penalties to Nasarawa's 2, sealing another historic triumph at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena. Mali have made history at the FIBA Under-18 World Cup 2025 by beating Serbia for the first time in the country's history at any level. Mali did not wait long to make a major statement at the FIBA Under-19 Basketball World Cup 2025 as they shocked Serbia 72-70 for their first-time victory over the European powerhouse at any competition, men or women, junior or senior level. Seko Bagayoko scored 21 points as the Africans pulled a massive upset to start their Group A play. Laji Koulibaly added 6 points, 7 rebounds and 4 blocks, also coming up with big plays late, including a layup, blocked shot, steal and breakaway dunk to make it 71-70 with 43 seconds to play. Ibrahim Doumbia converted a free throw with 10 seconds left for the win. Mali had opened a 10-point lead in the first half and led just 40-39 at halftime. Now the score was 59-59 after 30 minutes. It remained tight in the final frame as well. Still talking sports, defending WAFCON champions Bayana have refused to train in Morocco, citing unpaid salaries from the South African Football Association. The team, preparing for the 2025 tournament starting July 5th, skipped Friday's session in protests. They are demanding immediate payment for their April and June camp wages. And despite arriving in Morocco on Wednesday, players claim no formal meeting was held with SAFA officials to resolve the issue. Our head of delegation, Lim Somi, informed them that the matter has been escalated to SAFA President Dr. Danny Jordan. However, players remain in limbo with no update or address from senior SAFA leadership. Internal frustrations continue to grow as preparations for the tournament stall. And that's all at this hour. But before we go, here's another look at some of our major stories. We told you that PDP Reconciliation Committee Chairman Bukola Saraki has warned that there's likely to be more defections from the party. We also told you that suspended Governor of Rivers State Siminalayi Fubara and his erstwhile estranged godfather Nyesom Wike have made first public appearance together after peace deal. Finally, you heard that Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda have signed peace accord in the U.S. after many years of tension. Remember, you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, StarTime channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Darshan Usman.